Welcome to episode 10 of the Credit Card BS podcast. My name is Sean. I'm the UC Berkeley graduate that created and taught the university-sponsored course on credit card rewards. I'm here with my co-host, Sherwin.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sherwin. I'm a Stanford student who got into this credit card, travel, points, miles hobby about more than a year ago. Since I've amassed millions of points. I've opened a dozen credit cards, planned cool trips to go with my family on. And today I'm here to share with you some of the lessons I've learned along the way. As you all might know by this point, this podcast is called the Credit Card BS Podcast because that reflects the schools Sean and I go to, Stanford and Berkeley, respectively. But as normal, we've put aside our differences today to talk about credit card rewards. So today's episode, cruises, condos, and casinos through credit cards for free. Now, cruises, condos, and casinos seem like a random collection of travel things. What do they all have to do with one another? And it all comes down to one credit card. Sean?
Yes, so we'll talk about that credit card in a second. The only thing I want to preface this episode with is these are the offers and specifics at time of recording. So the specifics of this could potentially change into the future. So you're going to want to do your own research. This is a very, very interesting field. And yeah, as you said, this is achievable all with one credit card, except for one small part we're going to talk about. And so I guess I'll just spoil it now. The credit card, as you may know, is the Wyndham Business Earner credit card. This is one of the world's best credit cards. It's extremely powerful. It has some amazing, amazing perks. And yeah, we're going to be able to utilize that to be able to get some free cruises, condos, and some casino benefits. So before we go into the specifics of how that card works and how it's able to give you those benefits, let's real quickly talk about why the casinos and the cruises in the sense are related. So what we're going to end up eventually doing here is acquiring casino status. Okay, don't worry, we're not going to have to gamble for it. We're going to be able to acquire this very, very easily without having to gamble 1 cent. And casino status is very unique because when you have that status, think about how it looks like to a company when you show them that you hold it, right? They see someone with casino status. Their first thought is, this dude's a gambler. This person gambles a good amount of money. That's why they have this casino status, because that's by and large the main way people earn casino status. So imagine you're a company like a cruise line, for example, and you have casinos on your boats. You think, hold on, this person gambles a lot of money. If I can get them on my boat, they'll gamble some money probably because I got a casino right there. So I will offer them a free or heavily discounted cruise in order, theoretically, for them to come gamble on the ship. Now, of course, we're not going to gamble, but we do want that free cruise. And so, Sherman, do you want to talk about the kind of most well-known method or the easiest method of how we do this?
Certainly. So for those of you who watched episode 5 of the podcast, which is a few weeks ago, you might have a clue. But, it all starts with the Wyndham Business Credit Card issued by Barclays. Now, the reason we like Barclays is not because Sean and I are days in people or we like La Quinta, it's because Wyndham has some amazing partnerships. Wyndham, as you know, is a hotel chain, but we're not really interested in their hotels. We're interested in their partners. So here's the basic idea. You get the Wyndham Business Card, which also doesn't count to our 524 status, which is a plus. That automatically gives you Wyndham Diamond status. Wyndham Diamond status is the top tier status at Wyndham hotels. Once you have obtained Wyndham Diamond status, as of this recording, you're able to match that to Caesars Diamond status. Caesars is a casino chain. It's pretty big in Las Vegas. You can do this match online. If you have Wyndham Diamond status, it goes to Caesars Diamond status. The main perks of Caesars Diamond status, we cover in more detail in episode 5. Generally, at Caesars properties, you don't have to pay resort fees. You can cut the line at some of the restaurants. You don't have to pay for parking. There's some really nice perks. I think they have like an Atlantis cruise, not a cruise, but a stay thing that you can go check out yourself. Basically, without even gambling a single cent, we have obtained a semi-decent status level at a casino, which is Caesars.
Yes, and this is it's a semi-decent level. It's, I would not say it's high tier, but it's definitely not low tier either. It definitely shows that, for most people that have the status, do a good amount of gambling. It's not something that's super, super easy to earn, okay? And we're going to be able to earn this with the Wyndham Business Card. And it's not a one-time match. As long as you hold the card, you can just keep matching over to Caesars. Can't do it back and forth anymore, but if you hold the card, you always get Wyndham Diamond. You can just keep rematching to Caesars Diamond, Hold it every single year. Now, there's another status as well that we are ideally going to want to acquire, but has since become more difficult. So this is going to be MGM Gold. MGM Gold is, MGM is the biggest casino chain in Vegas. They own like the Bellagio, Aria, those type of properties. And so MGM Gold is another useful status, similar in tier and perks to Caesars Diamond. Basically the same benefits, waived resort fees, no parking charges, get to skip some lines, that kind of thing. And the previous way that we used to be able to earn this is you could take Caesars Diamond and match it to MGM Gold. Unfortunately, they will not let you do that anymore, really, officially. So the main way is they only let you go to Pearl, which doesn't really help us much in this case. But yeah, there used to be a way to do that. However, if you have Hyatt Explorist or Globalist status, which a decent amount of people probably have, either from the Built Challenge that was recent or just by earning it yourself, you can match over to MGM Gold. And once you've attained MGM Gold, you can match back and forth freely between Hyatt and MGM to maintain Gold and Explorist, respectively. Now, if you have...
A quick side note, if you got Explorist through the Built Challenge, and if you're on the Trial Explorist, you won't be able to match MGM Gold, unfortunately. But if you earned Explorist by staying 10 nights, I think, or Globalist after 20 nights, then you will be able to do that match.
That's a very good point. I will interject that officially, you cannot match it. Officially. But there have been data points of people in our Discord group, by the way, link in the description, check out the Discord group, very smart people in there, that have gone to Vegas, that have had the Hyatt Explorer status on their phone, the trial status, they did not officially earn it yet, and walk up to the MGM rewards counter, show them the app, and the person going, oh yeah, that means you're qualified for MGM Gold, and they give you MGM Gold, and now you're in. So can't endorse that, can't say it's going to work, but there have been some data points of that working. So okay. Moving on. So if you have MGM Gold, and let's say you don't have Caesars Diamond, let's say you don't have the Wyndham business card, you can match from MGM Gold over to Caesars Diamond, but only if you don't already have a Caesars account. So if you've already made a Caesars Rewards account, you're out of luck. So you're not going to want to create that account unless you're at the time of matching over in person from MGM Gold, or if you have the Wyndham business card and match into Caesars. So now, Sharon, so now that we've had these statuses, now that we've attained them, what's the point? Why do we care about these?
Yeah, so the idea is that by showing your casino status to some of these cruises, they perceive you as a gambler and likely to spend a lot of money gambling on the cruise. Therefore, they will extend to you offers of comped cruises, basically via email. And there's an official process by which you can do this, Sean.
Yes. So the most famous one of this, and this is, I think, the one that seems to be the most consistent, is with Carnival. So Carnival has something called the VIFP match. And what you do is you go on the website, you fill in your name, email, that kind of stuff, and then they want a picture of your casino cards. A picture of the app showing the status should also work just fine. And you send that in to them, and you can send in multiple, by the way. So if you have like Caesars Diamond and MGM Gold, you should probably send them both, because to them that looks like, oh, this person gambles enough to maintain both of these statuses. Wow, they must be a pretty heavy gambler. So if you send all the legitimate statuses, somewhat high tier statuses that you have in, then what's going to happen is a few days later you're going to get a pretty bad offer. Okay, you're going to get a pretty loser offer, something like a complimentary interior room. Okay. I'm sorry, like this is we travel in style here. We don't travel in interior rooms, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to wait a couple days. You might get another bad offer, maybe an ocean view room. Now, if you submit a high enough status, so usually if you have both MGM Gold and Caesars Diamond, it's like a sure thing. Potentially you may not get this high if you only have one of them, but the offer we're wanting to get is the balcony room, because once we attain a balcony room, that's pretty legit. I'm fine with that. I can open up the door, I can sit on the balcony. That's traveling in style. And so what we can then do is accept this offer. Now, it's not technically a free cruise. It's a heavily discounted cruise. And so what I mean by this is there's a few charges. So one, you do have to pay the port taxes and fees. You just have to pay that like straight up. Okay, so whatever that is, it's dependent on the cruise, depends on where the ports you're going are. But you're not paying the base fare of the cruise. On that part, you're just paying the port tax and fees. Now, the other part is you do have to pay a $200 deposit. And so this is kind of a mostly non-refundable deposit that is going towards your room. However, it is refunded in ship credit. So what you can do is, on the boat, you can go buy some merchandise, buy some food, drinks, whatever, and you'll have that $200 of on-ship credit. So you're not really losing it, I would argue, because you probably are going to spend $200 on the boat anyways, but it is a deposit that you will have to pay. And so it's not really a refundable thing. But this is basically useful for any of the major cruises. There doesn't seem to be really any restrictions on where you're going. Not really when you're going in the sense of seasonality. It's based on a variability on the capacity of the cruise and all that, but it's a pretty broad offer. So you can get some like very expensive cruises in balcony rooms, or, even ocean view rooms are decent. And you can get them for so much cheaper than the retail price, probably 25% or less of the retail cost. And it's good for two people, by the way. So this is the first
so
really good one.
Are these offers specific to like a location, or do they just give you general offer and you can pick a location at a time?
Very good question. It's not specific really to location, it seems. So you can use it to, different ports. Let's say you're based on the West Coast, you can go to Long Beach. If you're based in, the East Coast, you can go to like Miami or the Orlando port, other areas, go in the Caribbean. So it doesn't really seem to be based on port. You can really just do whatever you want. There'll be like certain cruises that don't show as eligible, probably because they, already have high capacity bookings and stuff, but it's a pretty broad, fairly easy to use offer. Like it's not like, oh, you have to take the 3-day cruise, going during like off season in the Caribbean kind of thing. It's like, no, you can take like a 7, 10, I think even like 14-day night ocean crossing cruises if you really want to.
That's awesome. And are these all inclusive in terms of like food and beverage? Do you know?
Very good question. So to be honest, I've never actually taken a Carnival cruise myself yet, despite knowing about all these offers. So from what I understand, there's always like certain dining outlets that are included. So like you'll have, maybe the couple of the main restaurants included. You'll have drinks at those, like, soft drinks or like, water and stuff at those restaurants included. But there will be, yes, like restaurants that you would have to pay for, or other ones you'd have to pay for. But if you really want to, I do believe, do not quote me on this, but I do believe you could treat it as an all-inclusive if you are willing to stick to the included restaurants and included like dining and that kind of thing.
Okay, sounds good. So after we do this Carnival match, are there other opportunities that we can leverage with our statuses and with our matches?
Yes. So this gets more offer dependent and, time of when you're researching it. The Carnival one seems to be pretty consistent, but for other offers, it may not be as consistent. Another very good one is the Royal Caribbean offer. And so this is kind of like gets into like the meta game here. So you don't send your casino status for the Royal Caribbean offer, funny enough. You send in your cruise offer to Royal Caribbean. So you first get your Carnival offer, okay, potentially even multiple. Maybe you have your player 2, 3, 4, 28, get them. And then you can send in those offers to Royal Caribbean. And Royal Caribbean will then give you a similar type of offer. So usually up to a balcony room. At one point, they were letting you combine offers. So like, let's say you and your player 2 had one, you could merge them into a junior suite, which was pretty cool. I don't think they're doing that anymore. But so yeah, you have to get the Carnival one first for Royal Caribbean. It's pretty similar stats. Like I think there's like on that one, I may no deposit, but you have to do the port taxes and fees still. Another one, this is where it gets even more complicated. So you can parlay this to even more matches. So again, this is all offer dependent. It depends what's going on at the time. But basically what it is you go to Atlantic City with some of your casino statuses. And I forget specifically which one it is, but I don't know if you need both Caesar's Gold and Caesar's Diamond and MGM Gold. But you go to Atlantic City, you go to the Hard Rock, you get Unity Icon status, and then you match that to Ocean's Prime status. So if you haven't heard of these are casinos in Atlantic City. And when you gain Ocean's Prime, there's 2 things you mainly get with it. 1, you get 2 free nights at the Wynn Casino in Las Vegas. And then 2, you get a free MSC Cruise 7-night ocean view room. And no port charges or taxes, which is awesome. And so that's really 7 nights. Like, that's damn, crazy. That's a lot.
Okay, so let's backtrack. So we get the Wyndham business card. She gives us Wyndham Diamond status. She gets us Caesar's Diamond status. And that one goes to Hard Rock in Atlantic City, right?
So this is the thing. I forget on the top of my head. It's that between Caesar's Gold and MGM Diamond, Caesar's Diamond and MGM Gold, only like one of them matches to Unity Icon. I forget which one it
Okay,
is. So
you all can look that up.
you may need both of them. To be honest, the
Advanced
easiest way to
Oceans.
do this is probably earning Hyatt Explorist or Globalist via some status challenge and then matching that MGM gold. That's still fairly attainable. It's not as easy as the business card, but it's still pretty easy to
Yeah,
do, especially if it's like if you want to game it and just get the Explorist trial and then try to like,
you have to go in
do it in
person
person.
though.
You do have to go in person if you don't officially have it, correct? If you do
Yeah.
officially have it though, you can match online. So that's pretty awesome.
Also, one miscellaneous thing is if you're planning a trip and want to use these statuses, make sure you try to match them early because sometimes when you do it on the website, it can take a long time. And as in my experience, several calls to customer service with agents that have no idea what's going on. Okay, so something to keep in mind. Okay, I think I have another kind of cruise thing that's not exactly related to Wyndham and casinos, but I thought it would be relevant to talk about. So Virgin Atlantic or Virgin Red, which is their umbrella, will have these promos where you can book the Virgin cruises with points. Okay. And in the Virgin Red umbrella now, the Virgin Atlantic miles and Virgin Red points are basically the same currency, right? So your American Express membership rewards points, your Chase Ultimate rewards points, your City thank you points, your Capital One miles can all be transferred to Virgin Red or Virgin Atlantic at a 1-to-1 ratio. And then you can use these points to book a cruise at really good value. I've seen offers that are like 80,000 points for 5 nights, 100,000 points for 7 nights. And these are not like loser route based rooms, have no view. Like they generally have some kind of view or some kind of balcony. Haven't gone on it myself yet, but from all the reviews and videos I've seen online, they look really nice. It does seem like a premium product. And I believe most, if not all of these are like all inclusive. So food and beverage is included. And basically what you do is whenever there's one of these offers, transfer the points, you kind of redeem for the cruise thing. They'll give you like a code that you then use to check out for your cruise, which should take off the entire charge. And it should basically be free. Again, these are like really good rooms. These can cost thousands of dollars. You're probably getting 2 or 3, if not more, cents per point, these redemptions. Now, what's really nice is Virgin Atlantic will often run transfer bonuses, promos with these issuers. So recently, American Express, City, I believe Chase and Capital One have all had periods of time where you get a 30% transfer bonus. They basically one credit card point goes to 1.3 on Virgin. So you can basically cut down the cost by like, I don't know what the exact number, around 60 or so thousand points if you book the 80K one.
I think it's 62,000
or even less than
like
that.
62, 60.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
That's pretty insane in my opinion. And great redemption. And I love that Virgin Atlantic. They even transfer from Bilt, and they just transfer from all these different currencies, so it's very easy to earn.
Definitely. And don't quote me on this, but I believe for Virgin Atlantic one, there's no port taxes or fees or no gratuities either. Or I don't know, maybe there was gratuities, but I know there's no port taxes and fees. So it's a very, very good offer, especially with those transfer bonuses. And as you were saying, like these are not loser rooms. They're not interior. It's usually minimum balcony room. And Virgin Voyages is a much higher tier cruise line than Carnival or Royal Caribbean. It's much of a elevated service, elevated experience. And also, I believe it's adults only. It is adults only. I'm almost like positive. So
yeah, and it's
something to note.
2 people, so you can do 2 people in a room. So it's really like half the points per person if you think about it. So very good off. I mean, I honestly think it's worth it even without a transfer bonus. But the transfer bonuses come so frequently that if you're able to take advantage and leverage that, it's even better offer.
Definitely, this is that's a top tier points redemption. Like I'm surprised more people aren't doing it. Like it's a really, really unique option that it exists out there. So it's amazing that it does.
Okay, and now that we've talked about the cruises aspect of this episode, I think we should shift over to the condos part. Okay, so what do we mean by condos? By this, we mean vacation rentals. Now, Wyndham itself does not really have vacation rentals, but luckily they have a very useful and lucrative for us partnership that we're about to talk about.
Yes. So this is one of my favorite redemptions, one of my favorite partnerships out of any of in the entire points and miles game. This is the Vacasa partnership. This is game changing. So Vacasa is essentially a vacation rental company similar to Airbnb. They operate a little bit differently in the sense that Airbnbs, you have like these individual hosts and all that, but Vacasa seems to be a bit more centralized, if that makes sense. Like they'll have like a Vacasa office in the area. I don't know the specifics of it, but basically similar to Airbnb. Now, the problem that we've all seen with vacation rentals is even if they offer an initial price, it's always so much more expensive after you add in all the BS taxes and fees, right? You have the cleaning fee, the dog fee, the theoretical dog fee, like whatever. So when it'll be cheaper than a hotel at first and then it'll be more expensive. So that's why a lot of times vacation rentals don't make sense. But there's a really, really unique partnership here. So Wyndham has a partnership with Vacasa where you can redeem Wyndham points at a rate of 15,000 points per night per bedroom for virtually any Vacasa vacation rental. Okay, there's going to be a restriction in a second, but there's going to be a restriction in a second, but any vacation rental basically, Vacasa, 15,000 points per bedroom per night. And this is an amazing value because there's no taxes and fees on this. There's no, oh, it just covers the base rate and you have to pay all the surcharges. There's nothing. Unless there's a parking charge or a pet charge, that's it. You're all in with those points. And that's a very good rate because if you know how much Wyndham points are worth, they're usually only worth about a cent per piece. Most people evaluate them at. But here it's very, very easy to get 2+ cents per point. Now, the big restriction, okay, and this is what I was kind of like stumbling on there because I say almost any Vacasa vacation rental. It's not by definition restricted. There's no blacked out vacation rentals like on Wyndham or Vacasa's side, but there is a mysterious gray area price cap. So what the data points have shown so far is the cap is $500 per night per bedroom after taxes. So theoretically, if the vacation rental for 2 nights would be $1,000 for 1 bedroom, that would be fine. But if it would be
For
higher than that, it was 1 bedroom for 2 nights, I was saying.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But if it had been higher than that, right, if it was going to go above that, it may not be bookable. Now, sometimes it will be above that, sometimes it won't be below that. So it depends. That's the main restriction we're going to encounter. But with that said, this is amazing, amazing, amazing value because you're getting 2-3+ cents per point and you're able to redeem for these amazing vacation rentals. And they have some good ones too. Like they have some legit ones, especially when you get to the 2 and 3 bedroom ones. They are very, very nice. And I think the biggest other benefit with this Wyndham business card that we talked about is you get a 10% discount on points redemptions, any Wyndham points redemptions, including the Vacasa partnership. So you're actually only paying 13,500 points per night per bedroom. So like, what do you think about this? I think this is just insane value.
I just really like how the redemption is tied to the number of bedrooms rather than the revenue. So it's not like dynamically priced, right? So you know how much a 1 bedroom will cost. You know how much a 2 bedroom will cost. And on top of that, the fact that they cover all the fees is a huge boon. I've never really understood like cleaning fees at vacation rentals because oftentimes you're the one that has to do the cleaning at the end or else they fine you, right? So, I've looked at some of these and the fees can be almost as much, if not more, than the base room, right? Which kind of defeats the purpose. So the fact that all of that's covered, the fact that it stacks with the 10%, the fact that it's based on bedroom rather than revenue, I think makes it an insane partnership. So Sean, have you had any personal experiences, some of these Vacasa vacation rentals that are worth sharing?
Yes. So I've actually personally booked 4 different Vacasa vacation rentals using this partnership. All have been on Hawaii. So 2 on Kauai, 2 on Oahu. And I've had very good experiences at all of them. I can't really complain at all. I think they're all pretty much as described. If I had any issues, like when I would call them up, they'd fix it. It's been in good state. I didn't have to deal with any of that BS. Oh, you gotta take the sheets off, throw them in the washer, mop the floors. None of that. They didn't give me any rules or anything like that. Very chill. Show up. Usually there's a little welcome gift in there too, like some snacks, some water bottles. Very, very good experience I've had. And yeah, it's been a very nice kind of tool to have that I could go to these cities and, maybe the points redemptions on Oahu aren't very great. They're kind of expensive, relative to the cash price, but Vacasa is so good. It's I can stay in Oahu like as long as I want. Because this is where another superpower comes in. Okay. And this is something that so many people don't realize how good it is. You can buy Wyndham points on sale for 0.93 cents per point. That is insane. Okay. That is so unbelievably good. So for 0.93 cents per point, you are paying less, significantly less than like $150 per night per bedroom. If you have the Wyndham business card, you're paying like $125 a night per bedroom, all in for a vacation rental. And any of the cities that these things are in, I dare you to find one that is a hotel room, a dumpy motel room in Hawaii that's selling for less than $125 a night. Let alone a high-end, nice vacation rental. Like, it is so good. You can buy, this is why Wyndham points, in my mind, when they have the sales, it's one of the few points currencies I can actually say could make sense buying speculatively. And I personally, myself, I do buy them speculatively because I love this partnership that much.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind is that Wyndham points do expire, and it's not based on inactivity, but rather just like I think it's 2 years or 3 years after you
4
earn
years.
the points. 4 years after you earn the points or buy them, they will just go away. So make sure you are burning them, or you at least keep track of your account. But if you're able to find these cool redemption opportunities, that should not be too big of an issue. And also, I mean, the Wyndham business card earns like 8x on gas, so like that's like a good way you could rack up a lot of these points for Vacasa.
Yeah, and it's I agree that the gas spending is really, really good. It's a very good way to earn points. And two other things I forgot to mention, actually. So let's say you don't have enough points in your account. Let's say, you have enough points for 2 of the nights, but your friend has enough points for 1 of the night. But these vacation rentals on Vacasa usually have like a minimum night stay requirement. So usually it will be like 2 to 3 plus nights you have to do. Can you combine points between accounts? So you cannot transfer points between accounts. Like, I can't send my points to my friends. But there have been data points of people when calling the Wyndham-Vacasa line and trying to book these and say, hey, can we take some of the points out of this account for 1 of the nights and the other nights out of this account, that they're able to do it. So you're actually able to book a stay and combine points between accounts. Now, only the account that, like, let's say one account holds the business card, one doesn't. You only get the discount on the account that holds the business card, it seems. But so that's a very, very good way, though. Like, if you don't have enough for the whole stay, because they do have these 2, 3, 4 minimum night requirements, that's a really good way to do it. Another thing is you can apparently gift stays to other accounts and other people. So you can, like, you have a friend that's going to go stay there, right? That has let's say you got a ton of points, your friend needs some help. You can gift them a stay. Or let's say in your family, right, you all open Wyndham accounts and you all start buying points on sale because let's say you're going to use the partnership. Now, like, even if it's just you that's going to be able to stay, again, double check this, don't quote me, but you can have them gift you the stays. So you can, leverage your family's accounts, your friends' accounts, and whatever, as long as they're okay with it, to, buy points on there and then use that to fund your own Vacasa stays at significantly reduced cost.
Those are very good points and probably very useful for our listeners. And I think another important point to know is that the only way to book these is by calling in. There's no way to do it online. But Sean, has your experience with booking through the phone been easy?
Very easy. I think the only limitation is that they close at 10 p.m. Pacific time every night, I believe. Maybe 9. I think it's 10 p.m.
Okay.
But other than that, the reps have been always very competent, very quick to help me. I haven't really had any issues there. Just make sure you're calling the right phone number. It's not the Wyndham General Customer Service line. It's not the Vacasa General Customer Service line. It's the Wyndham-Vacasa Partnership line. So, like, Google, use Wyndham points for Vacasa phone number, and it should pop up. And so make sure you're calling that number. But they're very, very competent overall.
Awesome. Okay. Sean, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I think that's really it. I think this is a very high level area of the points and miles game. I think it's something a lot more people should focus on because it's very easy to extract high value. It doesn't require high spending. It doesn't require any kind of weird, sketchy things. It's just one credit card. One thing. It's fairly difficult to get this credit card. Barclays.
Not for me, apparently.
Not for you. You're like one of the only people that has ever been instantly approved. But for most people, there's like a 75% chance you'll have to fax in like your social security card and bank statements and utility bill or whatever to Barclays. And it's going to be a bit of a hassle to get it. And they also do have a 624 rule, which is the same thing basically as Chase's 524, but just with 6 cards in the last 24 months.
It's like a soft rule, so it may or may not. apply, unlike Chase. So
True, it is a soft rule, but overall fairly difficult to get the card. I mean, it's not impossible. Just know it's a little bit of work, but very much worth it in my view. And I think this is something that's just so amazing to get high value out of without a lot of spending or work. Do you have any final thoughts?
no, I pretty much agree. So if y'all enjoyed today's episode, please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow this YouTube channel, and please use our referral links if you're interested in any of the cards we've talked about in the past or in this episode. And then join our Discord group. Sean.
Definitely, yeah. Join the Discord group. You'll learn a lot. We'll see you in the next episode.
All right. Take care. Bye.